Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Joel Cummins on Jazz Fest at Hi Ho Lounge.
You got a few things going on. Something with Ben from Goose, and is the band called Big Light?
Yep.
You want to go into a little bit about that and
Sure.
where that's happening?
Sure. Fred Torfey, who is kind of the lead singer and main songwriter and guitarist of Big Light, he and I have been longtime friends. He was actually friends with my wife first, and was in our wedding. And Big Light opened for Humphreys for some West Coast shows. I want to say in about 2010 or 2011. And we've been great friends for a long time. And Fred has gotten me some other nice work as well, doing stuff for the YouTube, the Google YouTube audio library. So I've contributed some original material for that, and some other pieces of music that were public domain that I did performances for. So, we have a long history of playing together and jamming together, hanging together. I love the guy. And in 2008, Big Light had me as a special guest for their set at Outside Lands in San Francisco. So that's a fun little trivia question. Who is the only member of Humphreys McGee to play Outside Lands? And now you know. I hope that knowledge comes in handy for you someday. Um, but yeah, so Fred last year called me and said, "Big Light, they don't play a lot anymore. They only play a few times a year at this point. But they're just an awesome band. It's kind of, I don't know if you checked any of their stuff out. It's kind of indie rock. Really, Fred's a great lyricist. He's a great melody writer." But pretty like cohesive songs. These guys are rocking good songs. So yeah, he asked me last year if I had any ideas for doing something in New Orleans a late night, and so they ended up doing it with another band. And he called me again this year and was like, "We need to find somebody else this year." And as he's talking, he's a very gregarious guy, and I'm like, it's me." Like, it took me 2 minutes before I could get it out. I'm like, "Fred, I'm going to be there." My wife works Jazz Fest as well. She works for the festival proper. So uh, I get the opportunity. I'm flying to Richmond, dropping my aforementioned 4 and 2 year old children off with the grandparents, and going to play four Humphrey shows, and then flying right to New Orleans and getting in and getting ready for this show. So over the past couple years, I've done a few things with different drummers, with just me and a drummer, particularly Jason Hahn, who is String Cheese's percussionist. And because we live very close to each other here. So we've done a few local shows, and we've done some, when we've been at the same festival. So I thought to myself, it's kind of a fun format of just having me and a drummer. During the pandemic, I did a bunch of streams from my studio here. You can see I've got my piano and, Moog One back here. And this is a UDO Super 6, pretty sweet little board. So I got a few things here, and I started streaming solo performances from here just to kind of keep me focused, and to, the other part of it, like, make a little money, right? We were taking, people wanted to contribute. It was just kind of a pay what you want sort of thing. And so I ended up with probably 125 or 130 songs that I could play and sing by myself. And, now that I know most of these, it's like, oh, I can go back and do these. So doing them with a drummer, adding bass, sometimes adding guitar, another keyboard, it's been a lot of fun. I just did some shows with Kyle Hollingsworth as well in Colorado, doing a few different things, duo format, playing with his band, etc.
Now, what is the set list for what you and Ben do? Are you going to say, "Hey, we're going to do some Humphreys tunes," or is it all going to just be covers?
It's a good question. I'm playing. I sent him the probably a couple weeks ago an idea of what I had, and it was some covers. I mean, we want to. The one thing about this, we're trying to make this a little bit more of like a party vibe. I think with all the different material I have, like, I can play some classical stuff, I can play some jazz, I can play contemporary stuff, whatever. I think the big challenge has keyboardist who's trying to be a vocalist is not to get too many ballads in the mix, right? Yeah. So um, we want to keep the energy up for this. This is going to be a New Orleans late night party. So some of the songs that I picked for that are kind of in that vibe. And yeah, there are some covers, there are some Humphreys tunes. It'll be cool. And I think we're going to have a little cross pollination here too. The guys from Big Light are going to come play. We might have a few other special guests. I mean, it's New Orleans Jazz Fest. So, and I don't know if you've been to the Hi Ho Lounge before, but it's this kind of local live music vibe in the Marigny, and it's interesting because it's definitely a little bit off the beaten path, which I think is cool.
I saw Galactic there on a
Ah,
Sunday night, maybe before Mardi Gras in 2000 or 2001. It is a cool little place.
incredible, incredible. Yeah, so I asked Ben to do it because I knew they were going to be in town from playing the 2 nights before at the Days Between up at the brewery, and I just guessed because if I were those guys, I would be sticking around for the rest of Jazz Fest, right? Yeah, so I wrote Ben and asked him what he was doing. He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm going to be around." So I'm super psyched that he was into it, and I'm looking forward to doing something with him. He sat in with Humphreys in April of 2021. It was like our first live show back. And in a very unfortunate turn of events, Chris came down with COVID. And so he couldn't make the show. And Jake played drums, Andy played drums. And then Ben came up and stepped in. And yeah, we were super grateful to have his help on that.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.